doing in a few weeks here. Just so happens to be the wallet of choice of the channel. And to find out more about the Ellipal wallet and the giveaway, we have a video about it on the channel, so you can get all the information on the contest on there. So today we will be discussing, basically, if you're a newbie, what to expect and how to get into the crypto space.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of new people coming into the market right now, getting used to this type of volatility, and hopefully we can shed some light on what's going to happen and not cause mass hysteria and panic amongst new investors.
Yeah, that's one of the things that happens a lot when it comes to a new investor in the crypto space. They're not quite used to the volatility. When the prices are going all over the place, up and down, they begin to panic when it goes down, a couple of percent. But they need to understand and expect that, we could have a 20% correction in one day and then a 30% pump the next. It's not unheard of that Bitcoin can go, $10,000 either direction in one day. And we've actually seen it pretty recently. Yesterday, we had a $6,000 dip in the Bitcoin price. And then, of course, less than 24 hours later, it popped right back up. But that's the beauty of crypto. We've all come to love it and take advantage of those dips as well, which we will go into in today's episode.
Yes. So we have a couple guests with us. So how about we move on to the roundtable and get started?
Sounds good.
Okay. Got one loading up. Good evening, Chart. How are you?
Good afternoon, fellas. Good. Enjoying the bull market so far. I think we're in for some fireworks really, really soon. How far? I'm not sure. We can probably discuss that later. But yeah, excited for this bull run. We waited too long, I think. And yeah, love the gains so far.
Yeah, for sure.
And just waiting on Crypto Cruiser there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we lost him or what.
Oh, I'm sure he'll pop back up. So we can get right into it. I guess first off, as we do every week, we go over the current state of the market. So I guess we can start off with that. And it's been quite the week, let me tell you. As you guys know, for anybody that's getting into the space, if you've just seen the Bitcoin price the last couple of days or the last week, don't be shocked. That is normal. We love that kind of volatility. It just shows strength in the market, and it also shows volume. It means a lot of people are buying and selling and creating that volatility, and we love it.
Okay, are you going to be showing some screens here,
or? Yes, I will be. I was just going to give Cruiser an extra minute or two to hop in. So yeah, before I get to the charts and stuff, I actually wanted to ask Chart. I know you were saying that you were loving this volatility today on Spaces. I missed part of it. There was a few glitches in the matrix, if you will. So how did today's Spaces go when it comes to the market?
It's funny because we didn't even have enough time to go over all the things we wanted to touch on. I know it feels like an hour is a long time, but it's not really when we talk about a whole bunch of things. We really wanted to focus on the meme market because it's actually exploding all over the place. And I think we spent a good time on it just before we ended up being rugged by X platform, which is absolutely the best platform out there. But the market is very volatile, right? This is what happens in bull markets. And for those who haven't experienced something like this, especially people that are in more of the traditional markets, they're going to be surprised right away because, we're used to, as so to speak, veterans in crypto. We were used to 10% drawdowns and 50% drawdowns. Altcoins going down 20% in a single drop, that's actually quite normal for us. So, when we see these dips, we kind of laugh and go, all right, what's next for us, right? Even just now, having seen Bitcoin go from 72,000 back down to 69, I think it was. And, I never even thought about anything else besides knowing what the outcome is going to be, which is basically a quick retraction from that 69 straight back to 71 and a half or so. So, when we look at the market overall, we got to think.
I am sorry, folks. All right, are we back here?
Well, what happened? Did you glitch out?
No, I didn't glitch out. I was loading up your screens and accidentally hit transition and cut chart off here.
Okay, what did you end up hearing? What was the last thing you heard?
We're only like 5 seconds back, so.
Okay. When it comes to market cycles, you got to understand where you are in the actual cycle, whether or not we're, in the through phase, the consolidation phase, or expansion phase, which will be the bull run phase. And I think, we're getting to the tricky territory right now, just because, we're getting past the all-time high, right, which is really nice, but there's a lot of assets out there that haven't even come close to that. We're talking about AVAX, for example, it's still going to do one of those runs that Solana's going to do. So it's far away from that. I think it's about 100% away from that. There's many layer ones that have to even come close to the all-time highs, like Cardano, like Tezos, like what's the other one? Cosmos and Polkadot, for example. I mean, Polkadot is so way undervalued right now. So we haven't seen any of those runs yet. So we got to look at that and say, where are we in this whole cycle? Are we doing what I've been saying we've been doing, a 3-year cycle, where this year is the actual bull run year? But unfortunately, like I was telling you guys earlier, things are happening way too fast for Bitcoin and not fast enough for altcoins, right? What I mean by that is, we're breaching all-time high, which is always nice, right? But we have like 3 weeks before, getting super close to that halving event, and really don't want to be getting so close to the halving event without having some kind of runs and nils. Sure, we can look to Injective and other big names, Nakamoto Games and whatever. Those have expanded so much, like 20x, 30x, whatever the case. The Render, for example, has gone up, 50, 20x. So yeah, those are cool and everything, but the rest of the market hasn't. I like to use a metric called Total 3, which is the market cap of all altcoins that are not including Ethereum. And Total 3 is so far away from our marks on the chart. It's right now at 756 billion market cap, and our tops are at like 4 trillion, or maybe 4 trillion. So we're so far away from where we should be, and we only have like 3 weeks to the halving event, which begs me the question is, where are we in this market cycle right now, right? Are we going to actually expand like 5x in the next 3 weeks? And the question, I think, is the answer is absolutely not. So it's going to be interesting to see where we are in 3 weeks before the halving event.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time. The ETFs coming into the market has drawn in a lot of equity for Bitcoin itself, and I'm curious, like you are, as to when is going to become the point where that liquidity becomes self-custody and then flows into these altcoins, so everything moves at a steady rate. Am I losing everybody here?
No, I can still hear you. Sorry, I didn't know if that was a question.
No.
One of the things I think about for capital reasons is, when we have a new infusion of capital into the markets, we get to a really, really high endpoint, right? And one of the things that we always look at is the stablecoin dominance. So if the stablecoin dominance is coming up, right, then I don't think there's much more capital being brought into the ecosystem. I think it's just rotation of capital at that point. And then we can talk about tops and things like that. So I don't know if we were there yet. Stablecoin dominance is about 3.92 or whatever, just under 4. If we do have this bull market this year, we should be going down to like 2%. I think that's a good way to look at the bottom, or so to speak, the top of the market. But until then, we'll have to keep an eye on it, right? There was a bounce on the weekly EMA for that stablecoin dominance at, I think, 3.8%. So that's what we ended up getting, this so to speak, like bear market for last three days, because it's kind of correcting to the upside, and we'll see if any more of that goes along this week. But things are still bullish. I think Bitcoin is very, very bullish. It should get to about 100,000 before the halving event. So I think in the next 2-3 weeks, we should really see some bullish activity from Bitcoin. We have to keep an eye on the dominance of Bitcoin as well, because if it starts moving towards 60%, altcoins will suffer. So keep an eye on that to see whether or not altcoins are being rotated out of and then into Bitcoin.
Okay, excellent. I'm getting some messages in the chat here saying that we aren't even live.
We are on Rumble.
We are on Rumble. Yeah, because I'm getting chat saying, is there a link to the live stream? Yay.
It has been one of those days, though, fellas. It's been like that for me as well, with spaces where we actually really had a good space talking about memes and whatnot, and we touch up on a lot of things. As soon as we were going to get a guest to talk about their platform, it rugged.
So,
damn. Yeah, it says
it rugged me even before that.
Logged in and everything here, so I don't know why we're having the connection issue.
All right.
Okay. Do we jump off of here and go start the stream again on the other platform?
No, we will just. We're still live on Rumble. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll keep it going. We'll get the quick points across. I don't think we can really. I just pulling up Rumble. Oh, of course, I get an ad.
Yeah, because I'm not getting Rumble on my side here.
Share it. Copy. I'm going to send it in the YouTube chat.
Oh wait, let's see here. I wonder if that worked.
Well, we knew it was going to be some growing pains.
Yeah. Because now I can't get out of editor mode.
Oh. Well, one of those streams, guys. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I'm glitching. The stream is glitching. We are live on Rumble, but not on YouTube for some reason.
It is the theme of the day, really, when you think about it. So
yeah,
it's true.
It did set up a different stream altogether, according to this calendar here. So, the problem is I can't get out of the calendar.
For what it's worth, it looks really good live on Rumble.
Fantastic.
Well, while we're doing that, I'll tell you a quick story about Stylish doing her art network space yesterday,
Yeah,
and so she was prepared to do a full hour, pretty much by herself because she wasn't sure if anyone was going to join her, and saw from Tombstone NFT project was going to join her to talk about AI art and talk about his Sapphire app, and I think throughout maybe half of it, she was just talking to herself. No one can
yeah,
hear her, and then the app actually stopped producing any stream, and so she kept going and basically talked the entire time on her own, and then she didn't realize it, and then somebody told her like, yeah, it was, you basically talked to yourself the entire time for an hour.
yeah.
And she was so frustrated. I was like, you know what, we need to stop with this. I think there's better options out there, and we got to find them, because you want to create content, but when it's unreliable, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Elon really needs to get on that, make that streaming a little bit more stable. But yeah, I was at that. I was listening in on that one, and Saul did a good job of filling in for the time that he could.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like the only thing you can do with Spaces for X is that you got to do it through the app itself. You can't go to the desktop and use your desktop application and start a space. It won't let you do it. So the only way to do it is through the app, the mobile app.
Mhm. Yeah,
And like that's got to change, right? Like 2024, we only have one option to do something. So
yeah, it's very strange that they haven't optimized it for PC yet, and that mobile is the way to go. I mean, yeah, sure, everybody has a cell phone, but there are a lot of people that are sitting at home on their desktop, and they'd rather listen in or participate on their PC. But,
well, it'll be easier for me too, because I think if we can share a screen, then I can also talk and share my screen at the same time,
that's right.
and that would kind of work for me, right?
Yeah. Well, I know it's not ideal, but Telegram, you're able to share a screen on Telegram, and if you didn't want to go the YouTube route or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm getting is failed to configure on this, so
Mm.
for the YouTube live stream. So I don't know what's up.
Well, it's a good thing we have a couple of videos lined up, and that we'll be releasing soon. At least we'll have some content to share with everybody. We will have a portfolio video, as I mentioned. We also have an update on my liquidity pools and how they're going, and I also have some time-sensitive information on that. And what is the third video we have?
Pith.
That's right, Smash or Pass on Pith Network.
Good question. I'm going to call it Pipe from now on. I don't care what they call it.
Sorry, okay, right.
I don't care how many videos do you want to put out and try to tell me that they're calling it Pith. It's Pipe to me. What I was going to say is somebody mentioned to me today, actually, that, and this has to be verified. Maybe you have that in your report, but they're supposedly releasing or doubling their supply after a fiscal year. Is that the case?
I didn't hear that. No, I'd have to look into that.
Okay, so if you can possibly look into that, that would be a game changer for holding Pipe in general. Because if they're doubling their supply in a year, that's pretty bad.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I'd have to see about that one. Okay, well, I guess we wanted to get into a few things when it comes to newbies investing, but I did want to bring up one other thing. I know on this channel we've mentioned over and over that the narratives for this bull market seem to be gaming, AI, decentralized dexes as well, or decentralized exchanges, sorry, dexes, and then a little bit of like oracles, like Chainlink and like Pyth. But one other one I want to add to that, I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with it, is the DPIN. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of that term or that narrative, DPIN, which stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. Now, what's big about that one, it's emerging as the blockchain's, to benefit real world infrastructure, offering solutions in Wi-Fi, transportation, data storage, and energy. So a good example of that one would be like Filecoin storage, if anyone's familiar with that one. And then there's a lot of like helium is another one where you can have these little miners, I guess you want to call them, but basically they allow data to be shared and you create a network. So that seems to be an up and coming narrative for as this bull market goes on. So keep your eye on anything DPIN related. That's DEPIN, stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. Something I came across, I thought I'd share with everyone. But yeah, so anyone that's getting into the space, we have a few videos on the channel about not your keys, not your crypto, strategies as to what to look for, what to get into, and of course safety. You got to be very, very careful in the crypto space. There's always people out there looking to try to steal your crypto through different phishing attacks or links that are not verified by you or by a third party. So you got to be very careful of stuff like that as well. And we will be, as the bull market goes on, we'll be constantly giving out warnings on things to watch out for, especially for the newbies.
Excellent. So yeah, since we are streaming all right for Rumble, and I am recording, we'll just post the YouTube after. Do you want to get into your screen share crazy? Let's go over the current market, and then we'll get into some tips for the people that are joining in on the Rumble side here.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. I guess Crypto Cruiser still unable to get in. Hold on, let me check something here. He messaged. Okay, working for. Okay, so yeah, I will. Yeah, let's go over to CoinMarketCap. We'll start off with that one.
Okay. Now your screen. There it is. And we lost your audio, crazy.
Lost my audio?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There you go. You're in.
Ugh.
You're in.
I swear I'm going to have a coronary. Okay. So, as I was saying, the total market cap is at 2.71 trillion, 24-hour volume at $165 billion, which is awesome to see. Once we got up close to the 100 and over is when I started getting really, really excited. Bitcoin dominance, as Chart had alluded to earlier, right now it's at 51.8. Let's hope it doesn't really rise too much beyond that, because I really don't want to see all of our alts get wrecked. But currently it's at 51.8. Ethereum is at 17.2. And the fear and greed index currently is at 91. So it is still very, very high. Still a lot of greed in the market. I'm going to share crypto bubbles. Here we go for the last week. All right. Now, I'm sure everyone can notice or have heard, if you've been in the crypto space, that lately the meme coins have really popped off. It's meme coin season for sure, especially on the Solana network. So we have Pepe, Floki, Whiff, Dog with Hat, and a few other memes that are not on this list, that are not even on CoinMarketCap. They don't even register in the top couple of hundred, but they've been doing really, really well. Jupe here is an outlier. I did want to mention Jupe. It's finally started moving. It's up 22.3% on the week, which I am super happy about. My Jupe Sol liquidity pool is doing phenomenal. And speaking of Sol, it's up 20% on the week. Did you want to say something, Dip? I thought you were going to mention something.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I don't think I'm on this page anyways for anyone to hear me.
Okay, and moving on. Currently, we have 32 days. Actually, let me give this a refresh. Seems to always change. Oh, look at that. Pop from 32 up to 37. So 37 days, 2 hours, 5 minutes remaining until the Bitcoin halving, which currently stands to happen on April 21st, which is, like I said, 37 days away. And then a quick peek at the Bitcoin chart. No secret. It's been kind of if you've been following the patterns, you almost know what to expect with each day. So, in the morning, we seem to have that dump. And then when the ETF volume starts to come in from BlackRock and company, the price pumps back up, and we kind of go sideways. Then the very next morning, it dumps. The volume comes in, it pumps back up. Seems to be a theme, as you can see this whole week. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks to the downside, coinciding with the morning of almost every single day, which is very strange to see. I don't know if people are trying to front run, if they're taking profits, but that seems to be what's happening on the Bitcoin price. So currently sitting at 71,655.
Excellent. Okay. We're back with the chart here. So, I guess the topic of today's episode is for investors that are new to the space, things to watch out for. So I will start off with asking Chart, if there was one thing that you wish you knew when you first entered the crypto scene that nobody was telling you, what would that be?
Wow. Because I entered the scene when nobody was entering the scene. So maybe would have been invest more and forget about the FUD. I guess that would be my answer initially. But anybody who's entering the market now should look at this. Do not follow accounts that are massive in size, because what their purpose is to shield their own positions to sell to you. Okay, it's happened every cycle. All right, and these accounts get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where they're now taking bribes from projects. And what they do is they shill you the project. As they're shilling you the project, they're literally selling on the market as they do that. Yes. It's been proven and proven so many times, time and again. And so my point is, when you're following these accounts, right, look at the size of the account, look what they're shilling. Okay, if you're not already in that project, if you already bought it low, do not buy it. Right. So if he's shilling, say, for example, I don't know, Injective, and you've already bought Injective at 15 cents, and right now Injective is at $30, you're good. You're fine. But if you're just coming in and you're seeing this guy pump Injective is saying it's going to get to $100, do not listen to this guy. Go back to the chart. Go back to the setup that it's in front of you. Ask the questions like, why am I buying it now? Right. You know, is it going to be, 2x or 3x down the road? And the reasons why that could be the case. So, fundamental analysis is still something people should look at, before buying anything. But if they're not savvy, please don't ape into anything you see on the socials.
Excellent point. Excellent point. What about you, Crazy? What was something that you wish you knew when you first got into the crypto space?
Well, okay. Well, before I mention that, I did want to never mind. There's a rumble. The live is also on Twitter, so anyone who is wanting to watch the live is available on Twitter as well. What was the main thing? Let's see. I guess it would have been good to be told to not listen to influencers and don't ape into everything that you watch a video on or other people are talking about. I wish I had the tools. Like, I wish someone was to tell me, like we're trying to do here when someone first gets into crypto, to use the tools that are available to them to do the research before you invest in anything. I wish I had known that. You hear about all these gains and all the money you can make in crypto, and you think you can just throw your money on anything and you're gonna 10x your money or 10x your investment. But I wish I had been told early on about tools like CoinMarketCap and certain influencers that are not in it for their own best interests, and to do your own research. Like, make sure you know as much as you can about something before you ape your hard-earned money into it.
Yeah, very true, very true. I think the biggest thing for me when I first started is you get started, you find a platform in whatever country you're at where you can on-ramp your cash and get into the crypto market for the first time, and you're usually there for Bitcoin. And yeah, honestly, you go and you start doing research and you start watching influencers, and what you both shared was true as well. But another thing that gets rammed down your throat really quickly when you come into the space is the traders. And I remember the first mistake that I made was on my on and off ramp. I was trying to buy and sell and accumulate, and ended up for the longest time just staying par, because you get those buy and sell fees all the time. And I didn't know anything about spot trading at all, and let alone leverage trading at that point. So yeah, it's a very scary place to get into. At the start, you're seeing a market fly up, it's flying down, it's going all over the place, and everybody seems like they're knowing what they're doing, and the actual information on what they're doing is a very specific search to find to actually learn yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's you bring up a good point. That was the other thing I wish I had known early on is not when you're in a position and you're up a little bit of profit, don't start moving profits from here to there and selling, in the middle of a bull market when you still have months and months to go before you really need to. Yeah, I did a lot of selling prematurely when I shouldn't have, just to jump into other projects, and then only to have maybe those have a retrace. You FOMO into the green candles, and yeah, early on it's never a good thing. You got to make sure you kind of understand the way this market works before you start doing stuff like that. And that was one of the other things that I did wrong when I first started.
Yeah. Any specifics? What was your first mistake, Char?
Not knowing the cycle tops and I guess cycle bottoms. That would be the worst part, because I remember my first Bitcoin purchase was at a cycle top. And I thought, I was buying it for the long haul, and then I got scared because things were going down in price. I'm like, am I going to get now all my money taken away from me? And, you get scared and you sell, then it goes back up, and it's like you're always chasing your tail, right? So that's like the hardest part, is to analyze the market cycles and know where things are. And that's the hardest part to me. And then over time, you kind of get more experience, and you kind of understand what things are cyclical, and certain assets just do not depreciate, and you get more confidence and so on and so forth. But the hardest part is actually knowing when to sell, right? Because everyone thinks it's going to go all the way up, and everyone thinks it's going to be going to zero. So knowing when to sell, when to buy is really, really crucial.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Agreed.
Yeah. As for I'll go on with my second issue when I first got into the market was, you get a lot of people. Okay, like, yes, you should be, if you're on a parabolic move, you're at the beginning of a cycle, like we should be right now, taking profits all the way. So to learn that the whole stablecoin side of things, so you're not actually cashing out of the market every single time you want to make an exchange, and actually having your membership in crypto.com or something, where now I can just exchange. If I'm in Bitcoin, I can exchange it for Tether or USDC, and then wait out the market. I'd never realized that the on-ramp that I used, you're just going to waste your money going to cash. So yeah, learning how to use those alts and everything else to switch your position within the market was another thing that took time to learn. Anything similar for you, Crazy?
Yeah, there really is no substitute for time in the market. The best way to gain that experience is to experience it. It's really the only way. But yeah, I mean, every newbie that's in the space, they all do the common mistakes. Like, for example, not knowing the volatility. So then when the price of Bitcoin or whatever asset it is that you are holding goes down, you panic sell. And the biggest mistake that new traders can make, or new crypto investors can make, is trading with emotion. If you're an emotional trader, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to sell into red candles and you're going to buy into green candles. And that's the biggest mistake you can make. I'm a little bit of a different investor than say you are, because you're a little bit in the traditional side of markets as well, whereas I'm not exposed to traditional markets whatsoever. So for me, I'm more of a hodler. I don't know how many times you've said to me, this token pumped, are you going to take profits? I'm like, no, I'm holding strong. I'm not going to be selling until it's time for me to exit the market. I know that there's, that saying, take profits. And I do. If something is up like 10x, of course I take profits. Especially like as an example, a couple of meme coins that I've invested in just, for fun. I get way up, and of course I take profits on those, because meme coins, well, they eventually go to zero, most of them. But when it comes to my hodl bag, my main crypto, unless they do a crazy pump, I'm not taking profits. I'm keeping that. Because I know where we are in the market, and we're nowhere near the end of the market. Now, it would be a totally different story a year from now, or when I see signals of the market starting to reverse. That's a different story. But right now, when we're entering into that parabolic phase, I'm not taking profits on nothing.
Yeah. Well, people getting into the space right now don't know that we're heading into a parabolic move. And yeah, something like you've seen today, which I'm not even sure, what was that, a 2 or 3% move? If they were used to a traditional market, that would have been pretty frightening.
Yeah.
Where's this going? This is dropping fast, not over the whole day. This is just like going straight down.
Yeah, I think it ended up being about 7%. It went down $6,000, which, if you're not used to that kind of volatility, it would freak you the hell out.
Yeah, there's no circuit breakers in the crypto space. And that's one thing I've actually been concerned about with these ETFs is people not knowing how to self-custody and relying on asset managers to find a custodian for them. Are you going to get burnt when it comes to circuit breakers and everything else, where your funds are locked up, but that crypto market is still moving 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when your S&P's just regular business hours, right?
That's actually a pretty funny point, because there are zero circuit breakers in crypto. Like, it just goes the way it goes. And if it goes down 20%, that is it. There's nobody in the centralized exchange business going to stop that market from flowing downward. So it's interesting how the traditional markets are now going to be exposed to this kind of stuff. Whether they have ETFs or not, markets still go. And so if the ETF is kind of, trailing the Bitcoin market, for example, then it's going to go up and down, whether the market's open or not, right? As you look at the chart itself from all the ETF suppliers, there's a lot of gaps on the chart. It's pretty comical, actually, because when they're not trading, they stop trading, the candle closes, and the following day opens up way higher, way lower. So you can see it on the actual chart. It's pretty funny. It's almost like a connected dot situation. It's comical.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for both of you, actually. In the past, we've had a thing called the CME gap. Both of you know how that works. The traditional market closes on Friday. Bitcoin has either a rally to the upside or to the downside. Come Monday, there's a price difference. Now, with these ETFs, that's happening quite often. And in the past, usually those CME gaps, they fill. Do you think that is a thing of the past now, or do you think that's still kind of relevant?
So most of the time, these CME gaps are quite large, right? Because normally they happen at resistances or supports. So when they do end up showing up, it's just essentially saying, all right, we've left the spot of strong resistance or support, and now we're going to the next level, whatever that level is. And so the CME gap has to be filled, because we have to go back to that level eventually to confirm it. And that's what that is essentially. So are we going to be having like these mini confirmations on the ETFs? Most likely, but it's going to be unnoticeable. So if you're actually trying to play these little gaps, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah,
I agree.
For me, I don't think you're going to see the gaps being filled the same way, because you look at what you're talking about is like futures investments with CME. So you're betting almost a leverage position, long or short, and you've got whales that are gonna turn that market around to actually fill that void that they missed. Where the spot ETFs, it's essentially the same as just buying Bitcoin on your own. You just do not have the custody of it yourself. So,
Right.
yeah, I can't see the same leverage moves or discounts or anything else being able to influence and bring the price back down to fill a certain area. That way, a certain bag hasn't missed out on any moves throughout the years.
Yeah, I agree. I think if there is anything there, which I don't think it's going to affect price like it used to, I'm sure those will all be filled on the way down come the bear market. But that's months and months and months away, so we don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. Another thing from getting into crypto, I'm thinking way back, and it seems like so long ago. A mistake I used to make was getting too narrow in my time frame of watching it. It's like you start off and you're looking at the chart and you're looking at it on the daily, and then suddenly you're looking at it on the 4 hour, and then you're watching it on the hourly, and next thing you know, you're down at the 15-minute or 5-minute charts, and you're watching these outrageous moves, and you forget that you've actually closed up into your view window in a crazy volatile market. And then you start making decisions on these really short-term moves instead of zooming out and going, hey, maybe I need to step out to the daily, zoom this chart out and go, okay, things are okay. The market's still going towards the top right of my screen. Yep. Instead of causing that emotion and panic on those shorter time frames.
That's why they say, when in doubt, zoom out.
Exactly. And I do.
Yeah, a lot of newbies have that issue. Yeah,
Yes.
A lot of newbies, when they come into the market, they put it on the 15-minute chart, expect that to be the norm, and then they move in closer and closer at 5-minute to 1 minute. And you're like, are you day trading? Because those are day trading time frames. You know, like the macro view for a day trader is 15 minutes. You know, the regular view is actually 1 minute, and then maybe sometimes, if you can get it, even seconds. So, yeah, absolutely. If you're going to be swing trading or possibly investing, always zoom out to, like, at minimum 4 hours. 4 hours, and then the daily, the weekly, the monthly, right? That's kind of like what you want. I mean, macro view is absolutely essential when talking about crypto and knowing full cycles. That's one of the things that I was really fortunate to be able to understand, you know, zooming out to the point where you can actually see indicators, proper indicators, you know, crossing or showing up on the screen. Even on traditional markets, for example, if you pull up a chart of Dow Jones, you put it on a monthly scale, and now you can see all the EMAs and supports and so on and so forth that they now formulate in front of you, versus if you were to put it on a 4-hour chart, you don't know where things are going, especially on a 1-hour chart. So yeah, scale out, like move out a little more, and not me zeroing in on 1 minute to 5-minute charts.
That's right. Yeah. Zoom out to kind of get the overall trend. And then if you want to maybe see a little detailed, more detailed information as to what it's doing at that moment, then yeah, use the lower time frames, but not for when you're, you know, especially if you're a newbie and you're not really sure about, you know, the price action in general. Yeah. You never use those short time frames. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's think of something else the newbies do that, or what we did as newbies that got us into trouble. And I think for me, it was before I got used to the market and the market movement and knowing what there is to know, jumping into leverage trading. As a new investor, you're looking at a 99% fail rate when it comes to jumping into trading too early.
Yeah. And not even a new investor. I mean, even someone who's skilled and been doing it for a while, a lot of times, more often than not, you're going to lose. But if you're, I mean, there are strategies and there are ways to do it, but for someone who's new getting into the space, yeah, I would not recommend even trying leverage trading. It's not for the new person for sure.
Yeah, stay away from them. I see a lot of these exchanges now giving you the opportunity to leverage at 200x. Like, I honestly hope you only put down $5 because that's the only amount of money I will use to do a leverage of 200x, because everything's sped up by that frame. Like, if you're doing a 10x trade, that means even 1% either way is 10% gain or loss. And so by putting 200% down, you're looking at a 1/200th of a percent, and you're already down 10% or whatever the case is. So make sure you stay away from all lever trading initially, because it's a much sped up way of trading. And if you can't handle that, please go back to spot. I think it's much easier to fathom losing, say 10%, 20%. You can still stay in that trade if you want to, right? Rather than getting into a leverage trade at say 10x, and if you're even down 10%, you're out. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and then when you're getting into the space, you're always tempted, because I know when I got into it, you get in and you're looking at tokens, and then you're learning as much as you can about these tokens, and then you're on CoinMarketCap and you're looking at low caps, and you want to grab something that's gonna 100x and this and that, and then all of a sudden this video shows up, and this NFT collection's going parabolic, and this DeFi project's going parabolic, and this, that, and the next thing, and everybody and their uncle has a rope out trying to get you to grab on the other end to pull you in. And it's usually, I think, as a general rule, by the time you're hearing about it in a mainstream type of way, you're too late. It's already done.
Yeah.
People are just looking to dump exit liquidity on you.
That's exactly right.
That's a great point, actually. Too often, I hear people ask me about projects that have like 3 billion market cap, 4 billion market cap, and they're like, "Yeah, it's gonna 10x." They go, "You understand that you're hearing this because it's done." You're absolutely like the last person to hear about this project. So it's really, really difficult for the new people to understand this. And so I'm trying to tell people, look at the overall run it's on, pull up a chart, see its market cap. If you can still have like a parabolic chart set up, it's flying, but it's like 5 million market cap. And you can kind of figure out, okay, maybe if I add a little bit here, it can come down, I can add it again. It can still be further ahead down the road. But, adding, all your capital into a project that's, 4 billion market cap, and it's got a trajectory of like, I don't know, 190 degrees or whatever the case is, it's not going to be good. So keep an eye on that market cap value. Make sure it's less than, 200 million, and you'll be okay.
For those gems. Another point I wanted to make that newbies should be aware of, and they certainly will be the first time they do a transaction on the Ethereum network, be prepared for those gas fees. I know the first time I made a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, I was shocked. So I don't want to give advice, but I mean, maybe stay away from ERC stuff when you first get in, and learn a little bit more about the cost of transactions in the Ethereum blockchain, because it will shock you. I do have some information on that Pyth supply chart. Actually, Crypto Cruiser brought it to my attention. He says that over 50% is currently locked. It will be released according to a predetermined schedule in 12-month increments, resulting in the circulating supply essentially being doubled each year, but total supply of 10 billion will not change. So that is the info I got from him.
Right. So the total supply will stay the same, but the circulating supply will double in every 2 years or every year. Okay.
Every 12 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's not going to be a lump sum release. It'll be gradual over a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So essentially, it is doubling every year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going
to have to do a little bit of thinking on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity to interrupt you guys and give the word of the week, because we got to keep this contest going, even though YouTube's going to get it late. It won't matter, because we still got another week left. So this week's word is degen. So make sure you write that down. That's 3 of the 4 words. If you missed the first 2, make sure you go back and watch the previous 2 live streams. And yep, the last word is next week. And then the following week we'll be choosing a winner. So good luck, everyone. And yeah, tune in next week for the last word to win our Ellipal giveaway.
Awesome. That's quite the prize that someone's going to be getting.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's made me switch. I was a ledger guy, and just running this contest has changed my look at crypto wallets being just tamper resistant, and seeing ledger move towards a more open type system for some people with private keys and everything else, which as a beginner, don't let anyone ever, regardless who they are, even if they are ledger, have your private keys. Store them safely. Keep everything offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's going to be asking you for your seed. No one should be asking for your seed, right? The only people that should be asking for your seed is yourself. Put it somewhere in a safe. Write it down in a piece of paper somewhere. If an app is asking for your seed, it's not the right app, right? That's like number 1 rule: is no one's going to be asking for your seed phrase. Once you have it, that is it. Now, if you have to move to another wallet, so you download a new wallet, okay, then you can kind of transport your wallet contents into that wallet using your seed phrase. But no other app should be asking you for your seed at all.
Yeah. There's only
Now, for the complete newbie, for those that don't know what a seed phrase is when you open a wallet, whether it be a hardware or a software wallet, you'll be given a 12 or 24 word passphrase, and as well as a key. I don't even know how many digits are in it, but one or both. And make sure you write those down, that word passphrase, and store it someplace safe, like Dip and Charlie alluded to. So every wallet that you open will give you that passphrase, and that is what you use only when you are importing that wallet to, let's say, onto a ledger or to another device. But other than that, never give that out to anyone. It's for you only.
And if you're part of our contest and you're concerned about that, where part of it's actually a seed phrase steal, which is fireproof, so you don't even have to worry about your house burning down. Your seed phrase will still be there in the rubble when it's done. And when it comes to these wallets generating passphrases for you, another part of the giveaway is a seed phrase generator, so you can generate your own passphrases offline. So even the manufacturers of these wallets have never had any influence on what your passphrase is or your seed phrase is at any time.
Beautiful. Also, anyone who watches the stream, once it's loaded up to YouTube and or on Rumble or even on Twitter, leave a comment down below in the comments as to how you like the new format. If you like that ticker going across, if you have any suggestions for the stream or anything else you want us to go over topic-wise, just let us know in the comments, and we will be sure to take a look. Obviously, we read all the comments.
Okay. And yeah, we're getting close to the hour mark here. So I think the last thing I want to leave the stream with is you're going to get new people in. They're going to go, obviously, the first thing you ever invest in is Bitcoin. Let's name some projects for new people that have stood the test of time, have a good use case to them, and would probably be good for dipping your toes in the water coming up in this bull run.
So
Great
not
question.
Financial advice.
Yeah,
Suggestions?
start with that. I would always suggest people that are coming into the space to start off with all layer ones. That's like the initial blockchain, right? all layer ones are considered initial blockchains, like Bitcoin, like Doge, for example. It's got a blockchain. You have all the old ones like Litecoin and Monero and so on and so forth. Like those are layer ones. And so we have newer layer ones, we have old layer ones, we have layer ones that haven't done anything in a while. We have like we call them Dino coins of Dino layer ones, like Neo and Verge. They're still active. They're still prominent. Digibyte, for example, is another one. Or you can get into the new ones, right? Which we have Say, we have Sui, we have AVAX is quite new as well. Solana is kind of new as well. So you can get into those, right? Or you can go a little bit more risky or cult-like with Cardano. There's Arbitrum, there's Cosmos, there's obviously Polkadot, because we've talked about that, and Ethereum, because Ethereum is the supercomputer that everyone wants to talk about. But yeah, layer ones is such an easy thing to start off with, and then slowly go from there, because each layer one will have its own ecosystem, right? And then you can go into and dabble with their own ecosystem, because there are decentralized exchanges and IoT applications and gaming applications and a whole bunch of other things, including NFTs as well. So yeah, start off with layer ones.
I think you omitted probably the best layer one currently. Can't believe you didn't even mention it.
I didn't. I said Solana.
Not. You did not say Solana.
I did say Solana, I swear.
Yes, you did. You missed it.
I didn't. Maybe because I'm glitching. I was waiting for you to say it. I'm like, okay, he's mentioned all of those. Okay, yeah, good.
No, I made sure Solana was in there. Yes.
Yeah. So there was Solana was there, and he didn't neglect your redheaded stepchild. And yeah, Chart, that was some good things to point out. What I was gonna say is, look into your top 100 coins. A lot of them has stood the test of time. A lot of them are in a good position right now. Keep a look at get on the coin market cap and look at what the daily trading volume is. Find something that's really active and not the Dino coin like Chart alluded to. Because you think of stuff, and I'm probably gonna piss off some maxis, but something like Litecoin that isn't gonna move much for you. I don't see a huge run up on it or anything else, but a suggestion like Solana, it's already breaking necks, and there's no limit to where that can go when it comes to being able to do what Ethereum does for a lot less cost.
A lot less cost. Yeah, transaction fees are very, very minimal in Solana. And the other thing I would suggest as well is, there always seems to be, we call them niches or categories or narratives in each cycle. And so far, the consensus is for this cycle, one of the narratives or a couple of the narratives are going to be gaming and AI. So when you're getting in, you're not really sure what to invest in, not really sure what to do research on, that's a good place to start. You can go on CoinMarketCap again, like we have already mentioned, and you can go to their categories, and right up there you can find gaming and AI, and just take a look at the top coins, see exactly what they do. A lot of times real world use case will translate into nice gains in the crypto. So take a look at gaming and AI coins in gaming, specifically launch pads or those projects that are helping release these different games, because they will be big as well for this bull market anyway.
That actually, bringing up the niches brings me to another idea, and it's making sure you've got some native tokens when you're in a bull run, like your Crow and BNB for Binance, stuff like that, because as these exchanges start making money in this bull run off of fees and everything else, they do some serious runs, and they offer some good staking rewards too for passive income side of things. So if you just have a small bag of it and you just park it, and that's a good way for new crypto user to actually start building a portfolio of a substantial amount to be able to do more in the space.
I guess, okay, for me, my final point would be for anyone new getting into the space is just do your research. That's it. I know we keep saying it, but know exactly what it is you're getting into. Learn exactly what the crypto space is all about, what they're trying to achieve, and the whole point of it. I mean, no point investing in something that you have no idea about. So that would be my main suggestion, is to just do your research, educate yourself on exactly what crypto is, what cryptocurrency is supposed to do, what Bitcoin is, and the whole point of Bitcoin to begin with, what Satoshi Nakamoto's vision was, and then you'll have a better idea of what it is you're getting into.
Excellent. Any closing words from you, Chart?
Do a lot of research. Like if you're starting out, do a lot of research. Go to CoinMarketCap, go to CoinGecko. There's many other platforms that provide in-depth services to see whether or not a token is worth investing into, and just look into tokenomics, look into volume. Volume is a really big telling thing for me. If there's a lot of volume, that means that people are interested. And sometimes TVL, it could be a really good indicator to look at. I know in the meme sector is the biggest thing, because that tells you whether or not this project is going to rug you or not. So TVL is one of the things you can look at as well. And just look at overall sentiment, where these projects are going. If it's going to be an AI thing, it's going to be a GameFi thing, it's going to be a DeFi thing, I don't know, a whole bunch of other ones. I mean, there's categories now for everything. So yeah, go into it, do a lot of research, figure out where you're comfortable with, and then put your money where that is.
One last point from me before we head out is another good way to be prepared for investing in the crypto market is to watch this channel. Check out our videos that we have up. We have a lot of good content up there to get anybody who's getting into the space up to speed, and a lot of good educational content on there as well. I'd like to thank Chart for joining us tonight. We lost Crypto Cruiser, unfortunately. We had some technical difficulties on tonight's stream. We apologize. This is the first time using this streaming provider. We will nail it down, I promise you. But thanks for everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
Any last words from you, Dip?
Yeah, apologize as well to the YouTube users that got stuck watching us try and scramble and figure that out off the top. It was everything was fine but the YouTube side of everything, so hopefully it's just a bug in the system and everything goes as planned. Thanks for putting up with us, and hopefully we see you here next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night.
See everyone.